Hi, everyone. It's Sunday again. I don't know if you remember last week I said that we were going to try to do a midweek section so that we could get caught back up on our stories, but the week got away from us and we didn't do that. So here we are with what would have been your midweek section, and we are just still a little bit behind on where we should be, but that's okay. What week are we on?
14?
14?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Last week.
But hopefully, or maybe not hopefully, if you felt safe enough, you went to church this morning and got to hear Rick live and in person. And hopefully you social distance while you're there, which I know is hard because we all want to hug each other after not seeing each other for so long. But since we still aren't having children's church, we decided that we would still continue to do our lessons for you guys for just a little bit longer until things kind of get closer to back to normal. So last week we talked about Jesus healing. How many?
15.
10.
I was close.
You were close. Jesus healed 10 people. And then this week is kind of a continuation because he's still doing some healing out there.
You are
Still
so silly.
Still healing everybody. Excuse me. So this is a kind of a part 2 of Jesus healing.
You are so silly.
Thank you. So yeah, Brooklyn. Have you had any problems that you've needed solving here recently?
I asked you first.
Well, you kind of had one now that I think about it.
What's it?
Your bike, and now it's solved. Pop.
No.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
No.
Pop.
He did not break it.
Repaired Brooklyn's bike. We'll use that
2
word
years
loosely.
ago.
He repaired her bike. So we had a problem because his repairs didn't work.
No, this is what really happened.
So we had a problem.
No,
We had a problem that we needed your bike fixed. So Pop had to take the bike and get it fixed at the bike shop. So that was a problem that affected Brooklyn. And then today, I had a problem. I was trying to enjoy the beautiful sunshine, because I'm going to tell you a secret. If you didn't know, we filmed this on Saturday, and it just happens to play on Sunday morning. But I was trying to enjoy the beautiful sunshine that was happening today, and as I was laying there soaking up all of the rays, I decided that I was absolutely miserable and started sweating. So I started to think, what can I do to solve this problem?
Which is very funny.
Yes. So I came inside and I got a spray bottle. And that was great for just a little while until I continued to sweat unnecessarily. So then, to solve that problem, I went into my bedroom and got my huge fan that I normally sleep with at night, and took it outside onto my deck, where I then plugged it into an extension cord, and I laid with the nice, what I was imagining, ocean breeze just blowing across me as I was trying to soak up all that sunshine. So that was my problem. My problem was I was hot. I didn't want to be hot. So I had to come up with a solution to fixing my problem.
My solution was playing in the sprinkler.
Which is a great solution for you, but I didn't want to be in the sprinkler and get wet. So that was the problem.
But then what was the spray bottle?
Well, I just wanted to be a little wet, not a lot wet. Yes.
Okay.
So today we are, do you remember what our big picture question is? I know, I always forget to read it, but I read it last week. So our big picture question for this week is, why did God create people?
Oh, wait, no, I do have a problem.
We're past that. So why did God create people? It's okay. We'll talk about it after we get through the story. So why did God create people? And today's story is, like I said, it continues on with the healing journey that Jesus, it was like he was on a tour of healing. So Brooklyn is going to read our Bible story today where we hear about Jesus healing a woman and healing a little girl. And this story comes from this story comes from Mark 5. So there you have it. Go ahead.
Jesus sit on the shore of the Sea of Galilee. A large crowd gathered around him. Jairus, one of the leaders in the synagogue, fell at Jesus' feet and begged for his help. My daughter is about to die. Please come touch her so she will be healed and live.
Why don't you start here again?
My daughter is about to die. Please come touch her so she will be healed and live. He said. Jesus went with Jairus, and many people followed, crowding around him. In the crowd was a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. She had seen many doctors and had spent all of her life trying to get better, but no one could help her. She was getting worse. The woman said to herself, "If I can touch Jesus' clothes, I will be healed." She came up behind Jesus in a crowd and touched his clothes. Immediately, her bleeding stopped, and she knew she was healed. At that moment, Jesus felt the power had gone out of him. He turned around. "Who touched my clothes?" he asked. Jesus' disciples pointed out many people were in the crowd around him, but Jesus kept looking around. The woman, knowing she was healed, came forward and fell before Jesus. She told him what happened. Jesus said to her, "Daughter, your faith has saved you. Go in peace. You are healed." While Jesus was speaking, some men from Jairus' house and told Jairus, "Your daughter is dead. Do not bother Jesus anymore." Jesus heard what the men said. He told Jairus, "Do not be afraid, just believe." Jesus and the three of his disciples went to Jairus' house. People were crying and wailing out loudly. "Why are you crying?" Jesus asked. "Your child is not dead. She's sleeping." People laughed because they did not believe Jesus, and he told them to leave. Jesus took Jairus and his wife into the room where their child was. He took the girl by the hand and said, "Little girl, get up." Immediately, the girl got up and began walking around. Jairus and his wife were amazed. Jesus told them to give the girl some food, and to not tell anyone what had happened.
Well, I know a problem that needs solving.
I need more sleep.
Yeah, you're sleepy, and clearly the solution to that problem is that you need to go to bed earlier. So anyway, so in the Bible story, Jesus was like hanging out with his disciples and walking through town, and this guy from the synagogue was like, "I need you," because he had a problem. And then this other lady was walking behind him, and she needed Jesus because she had a problem. So Jesus helped both of them. But there's a key point into him helping both of them is that they both had faith in him. Mm-hmm. It would not have been the same or worked out the same way, or we may have a different outcome to the story if these two people did not have faith in Jesus. So why did the woman just even try to touch Jesus's clothes?
Because she's been bleeding for 12 years.
Yeah. And
like,
she'd, like, spent all of her money.
It's like if you think about my whole lifetime bleeding.
Yeah. And she was like, I've heard, all these things about Jesus and heard, about him healing the 10 men. And if I could just, like, think about having that much faith. Of course you would want to touch him, but, like, you were just like, if I could just basically touch what's hanging off of his body, not even him, not even trying to hold his hand or, like, talk to him or anything like that. If I could just brush my hand by his cloak, I know I'll be healed. I know I will. She had so much faith that she 100% believed that he would heal her. And then after that, they were walking, and then the guy came from Jairus' house and was like, hey, forget it. Your daughter died. Like, it's too late. Don't worry about it and just leave Jesus alone. How do you think Jairus would have felt in that moment?
I feel like he was probably, like, on the ground crying.
Yeah, he might have been. I almost would have been. I feel like I would have been irritated that Jesus got distracted. Like, oh, if we had just gotten there just a little bit sooner, then she wouldn't have died. And if he hadn't got distracted walking through this crowd of people, then my daughter would still be alive. Like, that would be my feeling as a human, as a person, knowing that if you were somewhere and you were dying and all I had to do was get Jesus to you, but he got distracted, then I would be like, because that's just our human instinct is to get upset and also be sad because his daughter died. But then what did Jesus say to Jairus? Do you remember? When he was upset, when the man came and said, don't worry about it, she's dead. What did Jesus say to Jairus? She said, she's not dead. Jesus said, she's not dead. She's just sleeping.
Yeah, that's when he went to their house.
Right. That's what I mean.
Oh.
She said, she's not dead. She's just sleeping. So how do you think that Jairus and the mom, his wife, would have felt then when Jesus was like, no, she's just sleeping?
Like,
you think they'd be like, you're crazy.
Because it says they're laughing, and I picture, like, them laughing like, I need a good laugh.
Yeah.
Because, like, they said that they've been
upset.
Loudly, they said they were crying and wailing loudly, so.
Yeah.
They're like, that's a good laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. So both the woman and then Jairus and his wife were thanking Jesus and praising Jesus because the little girl, well, number one, the woman was healed and the little girl was up and walking around, and they were worshiping him because it was just one more way he was showing everybody that he was the Messiah and that he had come to save everybody from their sins. And like I said, the only reason any of this worked is because both of those two people had faith. Even though they hadn't seen what Jesus had done, even though they had never met him before, they still had faith in him because he was the promised Messiah from God. So it teaches us, especially, and once again, it goes back to like the time that we're in right now and all the uncertainty with the pandemic. It teaches us that even when we're in sadness, we never give up on Jesus because he's never giving up on us, ever. That lady, she never gave up on trying to be better, and then she got to meet Jesus, and she knew just instantly, all I have to do is just brush by his cloak and I'll be healed. She had faith so strong that he was the Messiah, and so she was healed.
I kind of think of like what she does. She's like just walking by and then it goes like,
yeah, just reached out and tried to touch him. So going back to the big picture question, why did God create people? And then God created people to worship him and love him and to show his glory. So not only are we to worship him and love him, but we're also supposed to show everybody else what the love of Jesus looks like. So that's it. week 14, as Brooklyn says.
I-
That was Jesus' healing tour. They did not sell tickets to get into his healing tour. It was just a very spontaneous event. So yeah, that was this week's lesson, and hopefully you guys are still enjoying it. And once again, put requests in the comments if you can. And we really enjoy spending this time with you, but we also hope that your family got to spend time in church today with Rick as well, and maybe you got to wave and give some air hugs from afar. And we can't wait until we are all back together again too during praise and worship. Some of you won't be back in praise and worship like this one.
I'll be in youth group.
Yes, but she's still going to help me do all the praise and worship lessons until we head back there. So we can't wait to see you guys soon, and we hope you're still enjoying this, and we hope you have a really awesome week. We'll see you next time. Bye.